I connected my Claude to TradingView, and right now I have access to a multi-million-dollar trading desk, analyzing charts, taking trades for me at the most opportunistic points with just a simple Claude and TradingView subscription. As you can see over on the left, it was able to generate this entire chart for me with all the most important resistances, all the most important zones. And it can do that on any single coin, any single crypto, any single stock that you may want, with all the most important levels identified. And also, as you can see on the right, broken down in terms of structure, in terms of any sort of level, all with a click of one simple button. And here's exactly how to set it up. Now, there are only two things that you'll need. The first step is to get yourself some sort of TradingView subscription, and I've left a little $15 discount code in the description below to TradingView. This is the tool that practically everybody uses to analyze charts, to see what the price is doing in great detail. And that's the tab you can see over here on the left. If you're into trading, you already know what TradingView is, but I'm saying it just to make sure. And then, of course, the second part that you need is some sort of Claude subscription. But in reality, ChatGPT or any major AI really could also work for this. I personally just use Claude for these type of tasks. And for the next step, you have to get yourself TradingView as a desktop app. It's not really any different than using it in the browser, if you ask me. But this is basically a way for Claude to be able to fully control your TradingView. And that's significantly easier if it's some sort of app on your device rather than some sort of Chrome session. So get the app is extremely simple. And now comes the main part of actually connecting your Claude to TradingView, and you can do that with just one simple prompt. Now, I've tried to figure out the best, easiest one-shot type of prompt, and I really came up with this one right here. So basically, all you gotta do is just copy this over, right? It's as simple as that. Just copy this entire thing and insert it into a fresh Claude code session. Once you've inserted that, it'll most likely already tell you what to do. It'll most likely already say either open up the TradingView desktop app you just downloaded or quickly restart Claude to make sure that these connectors can really load. Just follow the instructions on screen or follow the guide exactly here. Depending on your Claude or depending on the version, you may have to restart it another time or one more time. If you want to check if TradingView is actually successfully connected, you can copy this piece in right there. It basically just says run a TradingView health check. And if it says that it's connected true, that means yes, your TradingView is actually connected. Also, I've been doing this for a long time. Maybe your TradingView desktop app will show like a little white screen for a second, and maybe you have to log in a couple more times. In the actual GitHub, which you can see from the message you just copied, you can actually find more sort of bugs that may happen, but essentially all you have to do is just ask your Claude how to fix it, and it will eventually find a way. And if you want some more commands that you could use, you're never going to need these, but if you wanted to, here's a couple more. Now, you can actually scroll through the GitHub itself to find all the different pieces and things and tools that this TradingView tool has access to, as in what could it actually do? What type of charts could it make? What could it draw? What could it grab? But I'd say the best method to get this going is to just try it out. For example, at the start, just copy this prompt right here. Just say to analyze a Bitcoin chart and mark the most important levels. I also, in one of my Claude code sessions, just literally told it to look at the most important levels for Bitcoin and draw them out into the chart, and also to give me some sort of analysis on it. And here's what you see, that it brought me back inside of the chat. And here's exactly what it looked like inside of TradingView. And it turns out, right, in hindsight, that these levels were absolutely crazy correct, I can almost call it, because most people called out for $80,000 to be the most important psychological barrier, but it turns out it was about 79,500, which a couple of days before it even got hit, we already identified with the power of AI as one of the most important levels, as apparently it was the April high and a supply shelf. Now, just for fun, you can actually go and play around with it and try this for a ton of different cryptos. For example, while we were doing a stream earlier today, as I stream every single day on the channel, a lot of you guys asked me to try this out for different cryptocurrencies to see the results, see what the most important levels based on actual price data were. And since this is now like a real analyst almost, it gives you the possibility to act like a multi-million-dollar trading desk. You can now analyze a ton of different charts all at once. And here's a kicker. The possibilities with this are endless, but I've also set this in my guide, and I'll say it here again. Just because you now have the ability to do these things doesn't necessarily mean you're now a genius trader. Like, it can read the price action, it can mark your chart, it can actually critique itself, and if you've got some sort of trading strategy, you can actually insert that into the chart as well. Now, I'm not sure if I have a beautiful one open right now. It's actually just a very simple strategy. You can see right here, I actually had an idea of, you know what, every single time a certain moving average is doing something, in this case here, it might just be a simple crossover, take a trade. And I want you to let me know exactly how good that trade would be. Well, for Solana, you can see over the past year, it would have resulted in about $5,000 worth of a loss. On Bitcoin, let's quickly see. This trading strategy over the past little while would have resulted in a couple $1,000s, in this case here, $4,000 worth of a plus, or over its history in about $150,000 worth of profit. So definitely not too shabby on the 1 hour, 12 hour, let's see. Okay, so on the 4 hour here, this strategy specifically would have resulted in about $735,000 over the past 9 years, meaning a 7,354% increase on a 10K budget. We can, of course, put exactly how much we want, but you can see some strategies are absolutely cracked. Would have had a massive drawdown, though, of $177,000. And on the weekly, let's see. Oh, not enough data to do that. But yeah, so in this case here, it shows that any sort of strategy you can think out, you don't have to code it and type it in all the way. You can just literally tell your Claude to come up with the strategy, or say in plain English what your trading strategy is, and it can code a backtesting system for you, so that you don't actually have to run every single trade yourself, but it can, again, just look back at all the different trades that it made, and sometimes this can also be thousands or tens of thousands. And that's also one of the main reasons over on bottrading.net, I've tested out 28,000 different strategies. These are base strategies, meaning I've actually tested out millions upon millions of strategies, but all of them are like slight variations of something. You don't really have to count those because, as I always say in my videos, if you've got a proper crypto trading strategy, or any trading strategy really, if you keep twisting tiny little details about it with the past history, right? You know what the price did. If you keep tweaking a strategy more and more and more to be fully optimized for certain price action, it'll look like you're a trading genius. It'll look like you should have made $1 billion. The problem is it doesn't hold up, right? And so the thing is, when I talk about the amount of strategies I've tested, I'm talking about different sorts of possibilities, different branches, different combinations, not exact fine tuning, because what you're doing then is you're overfitting to the data. Anyway, that's more of a story on an advanced type of tutorial about how to completely dominate the trading market using AI, because right now is literally the best time to get started with all this. But remember, this is your own responsibility. It turns any good trader into a crazy good trader, a genius trader. This is the only way to compete, in my opinion. But at the end of the day, if you know nothing about trading at all, this can help you get started, get you in the right direction. But I think if you're going to just follow Claude as there is his trading ideas, you're probably not going to do so well, at least until you've optimized it even further. I don't think you're going to do very well. I've also left a couple of different prompts you can try out for yourself if you have no idea how to get started with any sort of analysis. They're also going to be in the guide. Anyway, some more stuff you can find over on bottrading.net. Also, if you want the links to any of these things, bottrading.net is the place you need. But the actual guide itself, you can find over in the school, which is linked down below. It's 100% free to be able to be joined by anybody. And I've left in here a PDF that contains all the details you need to get Claude connected to TradingView. And make sure you subscribe to the channel. And really, that's like about it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this little update. And get to trading. Let me know down below how it worked out for you, because this is by far the craziest thing I've ever found for my Claude.